Hey, MLS listing subscribers, welcome back to another vendor spotlight. It is December, and I hope you had a great turkey day. Looking forward to the holidays, but we're not quite there yet. And we're thrilled to have Brent Adams back with CoreLogic to talk about some MLS-Touch. Brent, how you doing today?
Good. How are you doing, Dave? Hope you had a good holiday.
Thanks. I did. Ate too much turkey, like most people. um, but we still got some business here left before we wrap up this year. We've been, one thing we've been doing is stressing is, hey, it's the end of the quarter, looking into the 2024. Great time to really take a look at your business. That includes mobile. Or getting organized, and part of the whole deal is MLS-Touch is integrated with our CRM. So I think it's a nice way to kind of wrap up the years, taking a look at all the great things MLS-Touch has to offer. And with that, I'll let you kind of take it away because you always have, such great things to show us. So thrilled to have you on.
Sounds good, Dave. Here, I'll go ahead and share my screen.
Awesome.
And so what you guys should be looking at right now is pretty much you'll be looking at my screen, and on my desktop, what you're seeing is we've got your matrix setup pulled up here. So your matrix homepage, your dashboard is here. And on the right-hand side of my screen, what you also see is me actually projecting my phone onto my laptop too, because we're going to be talking a lot about MLS-Touch today. So just to start off, again, there's a lot of integration points with MLS-Touch and Matrix. I'll point those out, and also some with Prospect CRM as well, and I'll show you those in a little bit too. What you're looking at here on my screen, of course, is the MLS-Touch app on the left side and the MLS-Listings app on the right side. Just want to point out the difference between those two. The MLS-Touch app is what your agents are going to be using to download when they want to basically do any searches or almost do anything that they want to do in Matrix, but they're on the run and only have access to their mobile device. They're going to use that MLS-Touch app. Now, they're also going to have the opportunity to share that app with their clients as well, via text, via email, or even just copying and pasting a link to their clients. And what they're going to end up getting is your personally branded MLS-Listings app. So that's basically the consumer version of the MLS-Touch app for agents. Now, you notice here in the middle, I'm using an iOS device, so I've got the App Store logo showing there too. Really, all you need to do if you're an agent is go in here and download that app. So if you want to type in MLS-Touch, and by the time you get to the T there, it pops right up there to the top of your screen. That's the one that you want to download there, the one with the white background and the blue stripes. Now, clients can certainly go in and download the MLS-Listings app, but I'm going to show you some ways where it's going to be a little more seamless, where when your agents actually share the listing with their client, or share the app with their clients, it's going to be a little bit more seamless, and they'll be prompted to get that MLS-Listings app, whether it's from the App Store or the Google Play Store. Again, we're going to work on Apple iOS devices. We're also going to work on Android devices as well. But with Matrix there in the background, I'll just go ahead and hop into MLS-Touch. I've already logged in. Just so you know, logging in is very easy. I won't go through that whole process with you right now, but you will have your SSO page come up, and the same exact credentials that you use to log into Matrix are the same credentials that you use to log into MLS-Touch too. Prior to logging in, you will have to select your state and then the name of the MLS listings from a little scroll through that you've got there. But once you log in, you end up right here on our MLS-Touch homepage that we like to refer to as the six-pack. Because again, you've got 6 major selections there, mostly dealing with searching. But the thing that I want people to know is the first time they download MLS-Touch and the first time they log in, they don't need to start from scratch. And here's where some of that integration with Matrix comes in. You might notice down there at the bottom of my screen, there's a contacts icon in the middle. And if you click on that, you'll notice I have a number of different contacts in here already. Now, first of all, just to sort of set the scene a little bit, I'm going to move my way down to the lower right-hand corner and point out that I am operating here as an agent called MLS Agent Touch. It's a test login that I borrowed for you guys provided to me, so thank you for that. But you may have noticed, again, that my name is very up there, right there at the top, Brent Adams, because I've set myself up as a client in MLS-Touch. And I always think that's a great thing for people to do the first time they're using really any of our CoreLogic products, whether it be Matrix, whether it be MLS-Touch. Set yourself up as a client. That way you can see exactly what your clients are going to see when you generate any kind of material basically out of MLS-Touch or even Matrix. So when you email listings, before you email them to your client, try to email them to yourself so you can see what they look like and easily explain to your clients exactly what that app's going to look like, what those emails are going to look like too. Here, I'll click on my name right away. And one of the first things you're going to see is there's, again, lots of integration. So number one, you'll notice up here, I've got my favorites, my possibilities, my discards up there at the very top. So I'm operating, Brent Adams here is operating as a client in this app, just to be clear. And I want to also point out that whether you've sent listings to your clients via the MLS-Touch app, or even if you've sent them via Matrix by doing a search and going ahead and sending them via email to your clients, when they receive those emails and they go to their client portal and they favorite properties there, or when they favorite properties that you've sent them via the app, all of those things appear here. So they're syncing between your client portal and also the MLS-Touch app. So wherever they favorited a property, wherever they've added them as possibilities, wherever they've added any discards, properties they're not interested in, whichever space they've done them in, they're all going to sync back and forth, both with your client portal and MLS-Touch. So other than that, moving down a little bit lower, you can see exactly how many listings I've sent my client, quite a few in this case. Carts are another place where you can, again, organize some of your properties and put them in different carts. So again, you can save them for later and use them for, again, other clients or any clients you aren't actively working with. Sharing your app, again, is going to be integral to this process. So as I mentioned, we're using the MLS-Touch app right now designed for agents. Once you've got your contacts loaded up here in MLS-Touch, though, you're going to want to share your app with them. And this code right here from that contact card, in this case for Brent, my client, this is the code that's going to be unique to him. So the MLS-client.com is going to be the same sort of beginning URL for everyone, but it's that ending 8-character code at the very end that's going to be unique to your clients, and it's going to tie them to you when they download that MLS-Listings client version of the app. Now, you're going to be able to text this to your client, email this to your client. And another thing that I mentioned also, maybe not with this link, but I'll show you more about sharing your app in a more generic way in a bit. So you can also put this link, at least the more generic version of the link, which I'll show to you under our brand and share section, where you can actually share that link with your clients uniquely, sort of in a more generic way, as I was going to say. So you can put it in maybe like an email signature. So it's a great passive way to generate leads if you want to. You can have your name, the name of your association, your phone number, your email address, and then mention to people, hey, you can download my app if you want to. Just click this link down here at the bottom, and all you'll have to do is copy and paste that link into your email or any other sort of electronic communication you may have with your clients. Now, you're noticing a few other things down here towards the middle of my contact card. Things like keywords, sales stage as well. Those are actually fields that are coming directly from Prospect CRM. So this person is also a client in Prospect CRM. I may have them set up on a drip campaign. So a lot of that information that I've placed into Prospect CRM for Brent is also syncing here into MLS-Touch. He's an active buyer. He's a friend. Maybe I need to send him a Christmas card, and I know he's looking to buy properties too. He's even a dad. So I can set up things like Father's Day cards for him in Prospect CRM, so I can kind of keep in touch with him even after we've been done doing business, either buying or selling homes. All the other information you see here has either been entered by me or is coming in again from Prospect CRM in a lot of cases. Now, you can always edit any contacts you want to, and if you don't have contacts coming in from Matrix, you can always add them at any time by clicking the Add button up there at the very top, and you can do one of two things. Either create them from scratch, in which case you have to fill out a lot of the fields that I just showed you there a moment ago, or you can even import them from your mobile device if you'd like to as well. But those are your contacts. And again, they should be coming in from Matrix. In fact, let me show you here in the background that when I go over into my Matrix and I go into my contacts, you'll start to see some of the exact same people here that you see in my list of contacts here in MLS-Touch. So there's a lot of, again, syncing with the contacts. You add a contact here in MLS-Touch, you're also going to end up adding that contact in Matrix and vice versa. If you add a contact in Matrix, they'll also come in here into MLS-Touch. So we do have that syncing back and forth in that way. So that's just starting out because, again, contacts are kind of the lifeblood of MLS-Touch. Sure, you can search for listings, but you do need folks to send them to. So the next thing I'd like to kind of show you is how we can search for those clients or search for those properties that we want to send to our clients too. So I'll start off with a map search, which is one of the nicest ways to search for properties. And also, right off the bat here, you can see I'm sort of faced with a lot of different properties. One of the things that you'll notice is that really MLS-Touch works in whatever kind of field of view I've got here on my screen at the moment, that's how many properties are going to show up. You might see here in the upper right-hand side, I've got 37 results. So 37 different properties are showing in my screen right now. And I've also got the ability to filter these properties out if I want to too. So you might notice in the upper right-hand side of my screen, there's a filters button. If I go ahead and I tap that, there's a lot of different ways to find different types of properties via a map search. And this kind of dovetails with the advanced search that I'll show you kind of briefly in a minute too, because all the same filters that are available in an advanced search are also here on map search too. So if we want to look for all different types of properties, or maybe just different single family homes in this case, and again, you can select multiple types of properties, all types of properties, or just one if you want to. Maybe I'll just stick with single family home and hit the apply button up here at the very top. You can decide to find properties that are for sale or for rent if you want. In this case, maybe we'll go ahead and we'll choose sale only. If you want to narrow them down by a price, that's another great way to find properties too. Certainly, that's going to be one of the first things on everybody's mind when they're looking to buy a property. So maybe we'll set mine somewhere between, maybe $1 million and $2 million and see how many properties we get. We can even choose things like how many bedrooms we'd like those properties to have or how many bathrooms as well. So as you can see, I won't go through too many more, but there are different statuses you can search for as well. That's going to be a very important one. Now, you're going to be able to search solds and expireds, canceled, withdrawn, and temporary off market if you're an agent. When your clients do searches in their client version of the app, they're only going to have access to just some of these and not all the same ones that you do as an agent too. Now, again, you've got sliders for open houses, properties in foreclosure, the year a property was built. And if you click on more criteria, this is where I like to say again, MLS-Touch is really the MLS in the palm of your hands. It's Matrix in the palm of your hands. All the same types of kind of search attributes that you have available to you in Matrix, we've tried to make available for you here in MLS-Touch too. So however granular you want to get in terms of looking at those properties, you've got the ability to do that here in MLS-Touch. Here, I'll run that search and we'll see, we'll get a few more properties popping up. Actually, I've got them showing here now. And you'll also notice as I scroll down into these properties, it's easy to see a few other things about these homes too. For example, look at this one for $775,000 for sale, and you see a little home with a key in it. That means we've got an open house scheduled on this property. I simply need to tap on that property, and I get this nice little hybrid view now, where I can take a look at the photos for the home. I can even scroll up a little bit further and get into the entire contact record for that property too. This is all information that's been input into Matrix, and that's going to, again, show here in MLS-Touch and sync back and forth. We can see there's an open house coming up in the next couple of days. I can decide to favorite this property if I want to. And then I can look at a lot of different other pieces of information about this home, whether it's photos, and you can scroll through each of these, or whether or not you want to share these with your clients as well. There's a number of different ways to do that too. You can share these by text. You can share these by email if you want to with your clients. You can even send them in message as well. And let me just talk a little bit about send by SMS versus send in message. SMS is going to be your typical texting. You can send these by texting basically from your phone to your client's phone number if you want to on their mobile device, and they'll come in a text string. But if you've shared your app with your client and they have that MLS-Listings client app, you can actually send these in a message module that's actually in the app itself. So you can see I've got a number of messages going back and forth with me and Brent. And if I go ahead and choose Brent, that condo is going to come up for him right away. And I can say, what do you think? How about what do you think about this one? And now my client is going to get this message in their version of the app. And as you can see, I've gone back and forth with my client a couple of times. So here's a great way where you can, again, collaborate between the agent and the client, take a look at different properties, set up showings, show them properties that they may like. They can text you or message you and let you know about properties that they may be interested in. And again, it's just a great way to collaborate when you're trying to share listings with your client. Now, again, another way to share those listings with your client, as I mentioned, is also email. And if you go ahead and you email those listings to your client from the app, those end up looking something like this. And something I want to point out up here at the very top is I've got some branding set up here at the top of the email. I belong to the Sherwood Forest MLS, or maybe the Sherwood Forest brokerage. So you can put your own brokerage information up here, and then all the listings will show up down here at the bottom in a nice little format, little gallery format. And then, of course, all of your contact information shows up there too. Now, if they go ahead and click through into any of those listings, so again, an email that you've sent to them from MLS-Touch, they click on those links within those listings and they end up on a nice little landing page that you see right here. And you can easily see that they've got, again, your contact information, your branding comes through. And the whole idea about MLS-Touch and even Matrix as an extension is keeping your clients here in your space with your contact information, letting them understand exactly what it's going to cost for them to be in this house, letting them be able to go through all of the different photos for these properties, and then seeing anything else that they need to that's going to allow them to learn as much about this home and then contact you with any questions as their agent. So your listing details, your building details, any schools that are nearby, the location of the property here on a map, going to show you exactly where that property is located too. So those are just several or a couple different ways that you can, again, share your listings with your clients. Again, it's all found there under that share link that I clicked over there on the left-hand side of my screen. And again, text, email, message, or even copy that MLS number if you want to too. You can easily run a comparables report. You can also even set up a showing request. We do integrate there with your showing requests. So you can actually set up a showing request right here from the mobile app. And then you as an agent are going to have all sorts of information down here at the very bottom, including public remarks. And again, you can open these up or zip these up anytime you want to too. Features, letting you know and your client know about everything you need to know about this home, from all the rooms to the parking to whether or not the property has a pool and other types of things. Now we get down a little bit lower here, and again, this is where the agent version of the app, the MLS-Touch app, is a little bit different from the client MLS-Listings version of the app. You're going to get things like agent remarks and showing instructions. You're going to get information and contact information for the listing agent. When you share these listings with your clients, you, the agent who is using this app right now and has branded this app to yourself, you're going to be the point of contact for the listings when you send these to your clients. They will have no access to the listing agent for these properties. That's an important distinction when you're sharing that app too. And then, of course, you've got an entire history for that property and any other additional information you might need to have. So we'll get rid of that property. That's really all the details I kind of wanted to show you. But back here onto the map, there's also lots of different ways that you can do searches too. So as you've noticed, I've scrolled out. I favorited that property. You can see it's got that star next to it now. But if maybe I'm looking in a different area, or I've got a client who's interested in looking at property somewhere else, there's a number of different ways I can do that. Up here at the very top in the search bar, if I want to, I can just go ahead and I can just put in the word San Jose if I want to. It'll do a couple of different things. Number one, I can actually just put in specific subdivisions if I want to, or even I can put in this case, I can actually jump to certain locations. We'll see if I've got anything here in one of these subdivisions. I'll go ahead and pop that one up. And it will show you that there are a couple of properties here. This one happens to be pending that's showing up right here in this particular subdivision. So you can actually, again, only find properties within that subdivision if you want to. There's one for 1.68. There's one for 3.1. Notice what happens as I scroll out a little bit further. I get no other properties showing up outside that one subdivision, Mission San Jose. But if I go ahead and I take that out, that's a great way to, again, narrow down some of them. But also, if I just go ahead and I potentially put in the name San Jose, you can also go ahead and jump to a specific location if you want to, too. If you've got someone that needs to live near the airport, that's something we've got down there at the very bottom. You can actually give a click on that, and we'll actually throw a pin right down there, exactly where that location is. This is great for looking for schools or some other sort of landmark, a park where somebody might want to live near, and we won't limit the properties around the area. We'll actually just throw a pin there and start showing you what's available in that general area too. So there are lots of different ways where you can, again, find those properties too. Another great way to narrow them down is to actually draw shape itself. You can actually draw your attention up here to the upper right-hand side of my screen at the map, and you can actually tap on that little pencil icon, which gets filled up, and I can actually just draw a circle, and you can only find properties within that shaded area if you want to. And basically, whenever you do any search, whether it's using the search bar up here at the top, whether it's drawing a shape, you've always got the ability to look at properties in a map view, in a list view, or also toggle over to their stats as well. And when you're looking at these stats, you can look at stats for the on-market properties in your search area. You can look at all the sold or leased properties, and you've got a slider here, both for sold and leased and for off-market, which you can move down to, as few as 1 day or as many as a couple years if you want to. So those stats are very helpful for just sort of gauging what's going on in a given neighborhood before you send some of these properties to your clients too. All right, I'll go back to the homepage for a minute because that's basically kind of what I wanted to show you on a map search. There is also, of course, an advanced search too. So just as I showed you before, if you want to look for properties in a specific area, again, you can choose that geographic area if you want to. In this case, maybe I'll go ahead and just look for properties in San Jose and go ahead and hit apply. In this case, again, maybe I'm just looking for single family residential homes, fill them out to 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. And now we're, again, only going to find properties in that given area in San Jose that have 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, of course, of any price, because I didn't specify there, but that's just another great way to get your search results. I also showed you how to share individual listings. Let's just click into one listing right now. And again, it's that share button there in the middle of my screen, where again, I can share them in a number of different ways. Well, you can also share groups of listings too. So whenever you're looking at a list of properties, always kind of draw your attention up there to that top right-hand corner. And there's that little snowman icon up there at the top, where you can, of course, add these to your favorites, send these by email or text message, or even add them to a cart as well. So you can do these en masse, or you can share these listings with your clients individually as well. So lots of great ways to do that. Back to that homepage again, I do want to point out, now, of course, I'm not an agent with your MLS, but if I were, any of my listings would be available right here. So you'd be able to easily access those. An MLS search is another great way to do a search. And, even if I did that map search or that advanced search earlier, I would also be able to save any of those searches, and they'd appear here in my saved searches. And you can see I've got a few searches that have been saved over the years, and you can see which ones there are, and I can easily tap on any of them and go ahead and get into my results for any of those saved searches anytime that I want to too. So a great way to stay organized there. But just to get off of searching, talking about a couple other buttons down here at the very bottom, the InstaView button is, again, kind of like why we like to say that the MLS-Touch app is really matrix in the palm of your hands. And depending on where you are with that app in the palm of your hands, especially if you're within a specified number of feet from any actively listed properties, all you need to do is click that InstaView button. Now, I'm several thousand miles, well, a few thousand miles away from your location right now. But if I were near any properties that were listed through MLS listings in my location right now, and I tapped on InstaView, I'd be able to find those properties right away. So that's a great way if you're out with a client looking for listings. Maybe they like the condo complex that's nearby and they want to see how many different units are available there. Tap that InstaView button, and every actively listed property will come up for you right away. Now, I've talked a lot about sharing the app with your clients, so let's get a little bit more into that. I'm going to go down and click into that More icon down here at the very bottom, where there's a lot of interesting information and a lot of great features that MLS-Touch really offers to you. So one of the things I did mention is brand and share. So if I click on brand and share, we give you a little tutorial, but if we just continue through there, you can see, just like I've got the branding up here in the upper right-hand corner on my landing page, it matches exactly to the app that I shared with my client too, and the app that I use as well. In fact, let me just hop off of that for just a minute. Here is that client app. So you see, when I share that app with my clients, they're going to see that sort of same group of things that they can do searches for, communications with your agent too. I'll go ahead and click on my agent really quickly. You can see, again, I am the only point of contact when I send listings to my client. So anything that I've sent to them at any time, when they go ahead and they tap on them and they go ahead and click through on these, they're only going to be able to, for example, share the app. No access to comparables or carts or anything like that. Also notice that they don't have access to anything else that they shouldn't. No listing agent, no private remarks, no showing instructions or anything else. So really, this client version of the app works very much in the same way that it does for the agent, except really we're just going to restrict some of the information that's available to them. You also see that there are some messages that I haven't read as a client too. So if I go ahead and click on those messages, there's that condo that I sent to my client earlier, and maybe they say, I love this one. And then again, I will get that message back in my version of the app as an agent, and we'll be able to, again, kind of start that process of getting them to show that property if we want to. So I took a little right turn there for you, and I've been showing you the client version of the app. Again, sort of easily distinguishable by the number of choices that they have here. But if we kind of work our way back to the agent version of the app, into that brand and share section, in this case, as you can see, this agent has branded their app to their own specific brokerage. But we've also got some presets for you too. And I'll go ahead and tap on that eyedropper and show you that if you want to change it to anything else like Century 21, Coldwell Banker, Keller Williams, just go ahead and hit OK. We'll put all of that pre-populated information up there if you want to. Go ahead and hit apply colors and logo. And now, just as fast as I did that, let's go ahead and refresh this landing page behind me. And you're going to be able to see that my branding changes that quickly. So if I've got clients that are here kind of perusing properties that I've sent them on this landing page, all of that information changes quickly. Guess where else it changes? On the client version of the app. So that fast, we're going to be able to change all that branding for the agents if you want to as well. And then, as I mentioned, if you want to share this app sort of more generically in that email signature way that I was mentioning, click on Share My App down here at the very bottom. This link is another one that's going to basically, again, be that sort of generic way to search to share that app if you want to. In fact, when clients click on this app, again, remember the earlier one I looked at, I went into a particular client's contact card and shared it with them specifically. But this is the great one to, again, put in an email signature, something else like that, because once they do, I'm going to click on contacts here down here at the bottom once again. They're going to show up here in that contact section as leads. And you see I have a couple of different leads showing up right here. So Rick and Janelle clearly clicked on that link at some point whenever I sent it to them. And now I have the ability to either reject or accept them as a client if I want to. You can see exactly where I got them from and how long that status has been pending. And I've even got some contact information. In fact, in the case of Janelle, she even sent me a little note and said, I'd like to get more information about you and your services too. So again, it's a great passive way to generate leads via the app as well. I'm going to go back to that more section really quickly. I'll also point out there is a great Facebook publishing tool as well. So if you want to, again, push any of your listings that are on Matrix into your own Facebook business page, we'll walk you through it with our wizard. Just hit that continue button, and you can decide when properties are going to get pushed to Facebook. Just sold, price reductions, coming soon. All these different sliders will be available for you, and you will be able to push those listings automatically to Facebook anytime that you want to. It does have to be a Facebook business page, of course. I'll also show you for agents, another great feature is find members. So if you ever want to find any other agent, go ahead and search for their name if you want to. In this case, I'll just look for Smiths. I'm sure we'll have at least a few of those. And up there at the very top, how about we choose Aaron? And it'll be very easy to not only find all the contact information I need to know about Aaron, but I can see what listings of his are on market, which ones he's sold, where he's operating on the buying side too. I can give a click on any of his properties, and I've got his contact information here. I can even add him as a contact by clicking on that little icon in the upper right-hand corner there too. So all of this here under the More section really is very cool. I did mention all of the syncing. That's found here under third-party integration. So if you ever do want to turn off any syncing between Matrix and MLS-Touch, it's available for you there. And of course, there's a lot of different settings, some technical support, ability to send us feedback, and even our help center. So if you ever have any questions about MLS-Touch, that send feedback, that technical support are great ways to go. And also our help center will take you out to some videos, to some tutorials, and really give you more information than I've just given you here in this brief overview of MLS-Touch today. But that's really the high points of MLS-Touch.
There's a lot of them.
Just let me know.
Yeah, no, Brent, thanks so much. It's a great app, and I got to stress, you said Matrix in the palm of your hand, and it really is Matrix in the palm of your hand. This is our app. The listing manager, every single those advanced fields, those advanced fields, that you see when you're putting a listing in are searchable in this app. You're not going to find that in other apps, and I also, I love the you pointed out, hey, take that link, put it in your signature, right, and put it into all those signatures, because that link doesn't change, right? That's exactly your link. So first thing, guys, download the app. Even if you are using another app, it's great to have at least a backup. But I would suggest you go in, give MLS-Touch a try, play with it. You never want to pull out an app in front of a client that you don't, are comfortable using. So actually, watch this video, go in, play around with it a bit. You'll see how easy it is. Obviously, Brent, you make it look easy, but it really is easy to use. I
It
use it
is.
every day. And some cool things, an Insta view, everything there. So I hope our subscribers are taking advantage, and the whole integration with, CRM is so huge, right? And so, like I said at the beginning, it's, don't wait till January. Here's the time to go ahead, get this app on, download it. It's free, right? It's on the Android, it's for Apple, and get your branding up, right? First thing I do is get that brand and share going, so that when you're going to send it to your client, it's already all set up. You got your branding, right? Simple stuff, but whenever I talk to agents, they love this app. And so I love to see even more agents, get on it. Brent, you do a fantastic job. I got to thank you so much. Shows all these highlights. And, this will be our last vendor spotlight for the year. It's a great way to wrap up the year, I think. I want to thank, Brent. I want to thank all our subscribers. And also a happy holidays to you, Brent, and all our subscribers watching. And thanks for tuning in this year.
Right back at you, Dave, to everyone at MLS-Touch on your staff and all your members as well. Happy holidays to you. And thanks again for allowing me to come on and show off some of our great products. And thanks to everyone at MLS-Touch, or excuse me, at MLS-Listings.
Thanks, Brad. Hey, we'll see you next year. Happy holidays.
You too.
Make sure to check out our Pro Support page for additional videos on a full range of topics. And don't forget to click that subscribe button on our MLS Listings YouTube page.